Hi, my name is Amber. Today I wanted to share with you one of my favorite guided meditations that uses visualization combined with the breath as a way to support our pelvic health. So all you'll need for this is a block if you have one. It's not necessary to use a block, but I do find that it adds a little extra benefit. Now we are going to use the block to elevate our sacrum. So for women, if you are menstruating, please do not elevate the sacrum. Keep it flat to the floor. And also if you have any discomfort in your sacrum, in the sacral joints as well, then you may like to do this without a block. Okay, but otherwise, we're going to take a block and coming down onto the ground, keeping our knees bent, and just placing the block underneath your sacrum. So we want to make sure that it's on that flat triangular bone, not on the low back, but definitely just under the sacrum. And then you can allow your feet to walk a little wider than your hips, and then let the knees rest towards one another. This is a constructive rest pose. Now from here, the reason that we're elevating the sacrum is because this allows all the contents, everything held within the pelvis, to just have a break from gravity, to allow everything to release, to change the direction of flow a little bit. And so this is a wonderful resting position for anyone who's experiencing prolapse or feeling any kind of heavy bearing down sensation or feeling. This can be really nice relief for that. So let's allow the knees to rest towards one another, and just having the palms upwards for now and the arms on the ground, and allowing the eyes to close. And we want to breathe everything out. And as you take in your next breath, allow yourself to be fully present, to arrive, to be aware of your body, aware of your breath. Allowing the body to become heavy. Allowing all the muscles to relax. And then we're going to take our palms and place them into a Yoni Mudra with the fingertips together, the thumbs touching, and placing this triangular shape right at the pelvis. So we like to have our fingertips at the pubic bone and our thumbs touching together under the navel, and relaxing the elbows and the shoulders towards the floor. Also being sure to relax the throat, the jaw, behind the eyes, and the forehead. Now start to become aware of the weight and the warmth of the hands resting over the pelvis. Allow your breath to connect to your palms, breathing into the pelvic bowl, knowing that each breath is bringing your presence, your attention, your healing and nourishment. And we're going to do what's called a pelvic mapping, and we're going to map our bony pelvis first. So start to bring your attention all the way to your fingertips resting at the pubic bone. From there, with your mind's eye, start to trace down the length of your fingers to the base of your palm, where perhaps you're coming to the hip points, the ASIS. From there, start to bring your attention around the sides of the body to the tops of the hips, the hip crest or the iliac crest. From there, tracing with your mind's eye down the back body symmetrically until you come to the sacrum, where you're resting now. And traveling under the sacrum, we pass over the tailbone. We would pass over the pelvic outlet that's flanked by the two sitting bones, and we would come back to the bony pelvis, or back to the pubic arch and to the pubic bone. So taking a moment to breathe fully through the entire pelvis, through the entire bony pelvis, allowing your breath and your mind's eye to trace the outline of your pelvis. You can even start to trace along the pelvic rim, getting familiar with the pelvic inlet, the opening of the pelvis. Feeling and experiencing the pelvis like a bowl. Breathing along the entire bony perimeter of the pelvis. And now starting to bring your attention to what is contained inside the pelvis. If we were to travel through the triangular shape of your hands, right to the interior of the pelvic bowl, we would find the uterus or the womb or the energy of the womb. So breathing into this space for a moment. The womb that has this energy of birth and death even within itself, of transformation as it is shedding every month during the menstrual cycle. Even connecting into that energy if you don't have the menstrual cycle right now. Just connecting into that process of birthing and shedding. And then traveling to the lower portion of the uterus, we come to the cervix, which opens up into the vaginal canal, allowing an exit from the body. If we were to go to either side of the uterus, just under the left and right palms, we would find the ovaries containing our eggs, or the energy of the ovaries if your ovaries have been removed. Then if you travel in front of the uterus, we find the bladder, and at the base of the bladder, the urethra, allowing all the urine to leave the body. And traveling behind the uterus, we find the rectum, and at the base of the rectum, we have the anal sphincter, allowing the stool and gas to leave the body. And then if we went to the underside, we would see a sheet of muscles shaped like a diamond, stretching from the pubic bone right under the fingertips, all the way to the two sitting bones and back to the tailbone. And this sheet of muscles, left and right sides, as if they can hug the openings of the body, hugging around the urethra, the vagina, the anus, and even the space in between the genitals, the perineum. So for a moment, allowing your attention and your breath to arrive within the pelvis, breathing into each of these organs and muscles, allowing your full presence to pervade the pelvic bowl, connecting, bringing love, nourishment, and healing. Noticing what is arriving for you. Leaning into whatever is surfacing. Fully embracing and fully embodying who you are. Taking a few more breaths, finding deep connection. And then lastly, before we leave this position, taking a moment to feel into this affirmation, and if it resonates, to keep it for yourself. I am a strong and radiant and creative woman. I am a strong and radiant and creative woman. I am a strong and radiant, creative woman. And now becoming aware of the weight of your palms, aware of your breath, and then as you're ready, starting to release the hands from the pelvis and bring the hands to the block and just pressing into the feet, slowly lifting your pelvis off the block, setting the block to the side. And then you may like to just rock a little bit side to side. And then bringing the knees into the chest. And as you hug the knees, try to lengthen through the spine, all the way from the tailbone and the sacrum to the length of the spine, to the shoulders, to the base of the neck. And then rocking side to side, massaging either side of the sacrum. And as you're ready, turning over onto one side and coming all the way up. And just sitting for a moment, connecting in to yourself. And placing one hand to the pelvis and one to the heart center. Finding your breath. And having a moment for any communication or silent exchange with yourself. And then as you're ready, folding the hands together in gratitude and bowing our head. Thank you for this practice with me.